Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Come on in. Thank you for joining us for another Coaching Up Close. We'll be getting started in just a few more minutes, maybe another 90 seconds or so. We just want to give enough time for everyone to join, get inside, get settled. Hope everyone's had a great week so far. Hello from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Thank you for joining. Monica, thank you. Hello. Hi. Hope everyone is doing well today. Hopefully you all are experiencing some beautiful weather. You know, every week I talk about I give a weather report, or every other week when we do this, I give a weather report about the weather in New Jersey, and I am happy to report it is beautiful today. So I hope that wherever you are in the country, you're experiencing some nice weather as well. Hello, Jill. Hi, good afternoon, good morning from Washington State. Ooh, you're up early. This is what, 10 o'clock there? Hi, Allison from New Moms. Thank you for joining all the way from Chicago, Illinois. And Branda, hope I said that right, from East Palo Alto, California. Hello, Annie Mae from Washington. Good to see you again. We have Tutu from Denver. Lori Lynn from Kalamazoo. Hello. Hi, everyone. We have someone from Arizona and Seattle, someone else from California, my home state of North Carolina. Hi, Emerald. I am from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Greensboro, North Carolina. So familiar there. We have Virginia and Vermont, Tacoma, Iowa. Wow, so many beautiful states represented. Oh, yay, Greensboro, yes. New Orleans, thank you for joining us. I lived in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge for about 13 years, so another place I consider home. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome from Kansas City. Katie from West Michigan. Sheila from New Orleans. So great to see everyone. So beautiful to have so many people represented from so many different states. Hello, Denise from Oregon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're going to get started with everything this week. Continue to greet one another in the chat box if you like. But we are going to get started, as I want to be respectful of your time today. Okay. Hi, my name is Franciria Moore with the Prosperity Agenda, and welcome to Coaching Up Close, our mini webinar series designed to work some quick tips into your day. But first, let me introduce TPA. We are working to end persistent poverty, changing the way we think about, build programs for, and coach families experiencing financial stress. Coaching is, of course, a big part of our DNA, and we work with organizations all over the country on their coaching programs. Before we jump in, if you're joining us live, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar, so save your questions. And as a note, through the month of July, we will be offering Coaching Up Close webinars bi-weekly on the first and third Wednesday of each month. We will also be offering Coaching on Call, our open office hours once a month, in order to provide a deeper question and answer time and even do some collective brainstorming with other coaches from around the nation. Please visit our website at theprosperityagenda.org to register for these upcoming webinars. Now let's get started. Today's session is about honoring families through the coaching skill of acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is a coaching skill that is used to shine light on who participants are being in a moment. It points out the qualities that are visibly demonstrated or values that they are honoring. There's an important distinction, however, between acknowledgement and celebration. When you are acknowledging someone, or if you're using the coaching skill of acknowledgement, it is about who the participant is. It is about their character. It is about who they are as a person. Whereas when you're celebrating something, or you're celebrating someone through a coaching skill, that is about what the participant has done or is doing. It's about what they do. So acknowledgement is about acknowledging who they are as a person. The celebrating is about acknowledging what they've done. Why is that an important distinction? That's an important distinction because we want our participants and our families to understand that regardless of whether or not they've achieved something, they should be acknowledged for who they are and the effort that they put in place, okay? Because it takes a change for people when they're looking to achieve a goal. It takes a change in their mindset. It takes a change in their behavior. It takes work in order to become that person who's capable of making that effort. And so we want to take a moment to acknowledge that. Even if the thing is not won, even if we haven't seen the finish line yet, we can shorten what feels like a long period of time when we're trying to practice goals by acknowledging the effort that a person puts in. The coaching skill of acknowledgement is a situational coaching skill, which means that it might not always fit in every coaching session, but in the coaching sessions where it is appropriate and where it fits, it does amazing things for your coaching session. It helps the participant connect with their values, with their strengths, and with their power through acknowledgement. And so I want to give you a few things to be mindful of as you're working to acknowledge your participants, okay? So the first thing is we want to keep acknowledgement simple and specific. Vague acknowledgement is not very powerful. So we want to give concrete examples about the thing that we're acknowledging. And so if you, for instance, had a participant who tends to struggle with making appointments on time, and you notice that day they arrived not only on time but early, and they were ready for their session when we got started, then that would be a great way to acknowledge. James, I noticed that today you were here early. I know that has been a struggle for you. I'm not sure what changed today, but I definitely want to acknowledge the fact that you were here early today, and maybe even take some time to discuss what was done differently that allowed James to be there early. But you want to make sure that it's specific and that it's simple. We don't want to give, these complex acknowledgments. We want to make it simple about that thing. I want to appreciate you for being punctual today, because you were punctual today. That's about who they are and not necessarily what they've done. They're a punctual person. Okay. Another thing is to focus on the qualities or values that the participant is bringing. Okay. Focus on the qualities or values that the participant brings into the session when you're acknowledging them. Okay, so this is again part of being strengths-based as a coach. We want to come from the perspective of the strengths of our participants and not necessarily the weaknesses, the opportunities, or the deficits that they may hold. We want to come from a place of acknowledging that this is a strength that you hold, that you value this thing, and because of that, we want to acknowledge that there. Okay, the next thing is we want to be honest, we want to be sincere, and we want to be appropriate, okay? We want to be honest about it. So people can more times than not tell when you're being disingenuous. So please make sure that you're being honest and genuine about the comments that you're making, that you're being sincere and forthright. But also make sure that your acknowledgments are appropriate for the type of relationship that you have with a participant, okay? And so we want to make sure that we respect boundaries for participants, as well as respecting the professional boundaries that we may have in our work. Next, we want to make sure that we do not provide explanation or expect a thank you when you are acknowledging something or someone for who they are. After having a moment of silence, it's okay to move on with the coaching. Waiting around for a thank you can make something that was meant to be you empowering the client an otherwise awkward interaction. So we're not waiting for a thank you. We don't need to explain anything any further. Again, we want to be simple and specific, and then we can move on to the next thing. I will be honest, as for someone like myself, I don't really like a lot of public acknowledgement. When people make a big deal and this and that, it makes me feel really strange and awkward. And so the best thing is for someone to make that compliment, make that acknowledgement, and move on. Putting that pressure on the participant to then respond kind of nullifies that moment, because we want them to just have that moment of acknowledgement, to feel that they did something great, to be recognized for that, for who they are and what they've managed to bring forward in this session. And we don't want to belabor the point by hanging out and expecting a thank you, or even trying to dig down and give deeper explanation for anything. Say what you mean what you say, allow for a moment of silence, and then move on. Okay, another thing that we want to make sure we're doing as we're acknowledging, or I'm sorry, rather we should not be doing as we're working to work acknowledgement into our coaching day, is do not acknowledge outcomes. Okay, I know that might be difficult. Listen for the effort participants are exerting and offer praise for the effort made, not necessarily the outcome. So even in the example that I gave earlier where James arrived early, even if James didn't arrive early during that session, but he, through that conversation, let you know that he was doing things in order to change that outcome, that is worth acknowledging. Well, James, I want to acknowledge that, you looked into the bus route schedule to see if there was another route that you could take to get here early. That is amazing, because you're invested in this process. And so I just want to acknowledge that effort, because that's a huge deal. Okay, so whether or not the outcome was positive or negative is not necessarily important in acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is about acknowledging the effort that they took. A lot of times we hear, even when we're giving gifts, it's not always the gift, it's the thought that counts, right? Think of this in the same way when we think about acknowledging our participants. It's the thought that counts. What effort did they put into this? How did they think through it? How has that been a shift potentially in the way that they were thinking about things prior to starting coaching? And so we don't want to focus on the outcome. We're not acknowledging the outcome. We celebrate outcomes when they're positive, but we acknowledge effort regardless of what the outcome is. And then the last thing I would like to share with you about acknowledgement is acknowledging people behind their backs is one of a lot of great tools that you can use when you're hoping to acknowledge, in the same way that many of us leave case notes or we talk to our coworkers about what's going on with a particular participant. It's also important to share knowledge with others about the efforts and the strides that your clients and your participants are making. And being able to share acknowledgement, especially with the efforts that they're making with other service providers, is a powerful way to be helpful in making sure that they are able to serve that participant well, with a strength based mindset, focused on the things that they are capable of doing, and not necessarily the things that they've heard that they've had challenges with in the past. And so instead of saying, talking about all of the negative things that you experience with your clients every day, take a chance, make a shift in your thinking, and begin to acknowledge the effort that your participants are making, and notice if it makes a change in the way that your office feels as far as morale. Notice if it makes a difference in the way that they approach customer service in your office. When we begin to share stories of the effort that our clients and participants are making, we starting to shorten the gap between feeling like we're actually doing something as practitioners, right? Because many times we'll work, and until someone hits a major milestone, we don't really understand that we're making impact every day. And so by sharing and acknowledging the effort of our participants and our families, we're actually shortening the time that we experience the joy of doing our work, because we're constantly making ourselves aware of effort that's being made and improvements that are being made as a result of the effort. And so In closing, many participants may rarely be acknowledged for who they are. I'm going to say that again. Many participants rarely are acknowledged for who they are. Depending on the systems that they're a part of, it becomes less about who they are and it becomes more about what they need, where they are, and what they can do. Okay. And so acknowledgement really focuses on who they are. By acknowledging a family's strengths, dreams, and ideas, you can make a powerful difference. So simply acknowledging the effort that a participant is making toward their goal practice journey can deepen your relationship. Acknowledgement does not have to be tied to accomplishment. As a matter of fact, it should not necessarily be tied to accomplishment, but rather to who the person is. You can acknowledge a participant without waiting for a specific milestone, by simply focusing on their qualities, values, and the strengths that you witness. Okay, it does not have to be tied to a program outcome. It doesn't have to be tied to any of the personal goals that they've set for themselves, but rather it should be tied to who they are, and and the effort that they're making in order to achieve their goals. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Join us next month for more coaching tips and resources, and be sure to stick around for the question and answer portion. And of course, if you have any questions about our coaching or training programs, or if you would like to sign up for the next Coaching Up Close mini webinar, please visit theprosperityagenda.org and check out our LinkedIn page. Until next time, everyone have a great week and a great month. Thank you.